Hey everyone, this is Mr. Tanner, and I'm going to help you guys trace the routes of these explorers. So if you're having a hard time following the maps from the slideshow, take a look at this video and it should definitely help you complete this assignment. So our goal here is to trace the routes of Vasco de Gama, the first voyage, the 1492 voyage of Christopher Columbus, the circumnavigation by Ferdinand Magellan, and then the journeys of the conquistadors Hernan, Cortez, and Francisco Pizarro. And then it says create a key or a legend and assign a separate color for each explorer. So I'm going to start by creating that legend. So I will do in red, and your colors don't have to match mine. You just need different colors for each one. We'll do de Gama. We can do orange for Columbus. Blue can be Magellan. Purple for Cortez. And I'll do this teal color for Pizarro. So there's our key, and then we just have to go about adding the routes. De Gama was the first to sail around the Cape of Good Hope and make it all the way to India. So if you remember, Bartolomé Diaz made it around the Cape of Good Hope first, but De Gama made it all the way to India. So he left from Portugal, sailed around Africa, around the Cape of Good Hope. He went inside of Madagascar. He stayed close to the coastline and then traversed to India. I'm going to add some directional arrows here so we can keep track of which way he was going. And then when he came back, he reversed course, went back down through that strait around Cape of Good Hope, and then back to Portugal, but he actually stopped at a series of islands just off the coast, and then he returned. So your route for De Gama should look something like that. Then we have Columbus's first voyage. He left from a very similar spot. He would have started from here and sailed through the Straits of Gibraltar. That's a little hard to see. He stayed pretty far. He followed down Africa. He sailed across and made it to the Caribbean islands. Traveled up those islands for a little bit before heading back. And to catch the right winds, he headed a lot further north on the return voyage. So there's Columbus's route. Switch to blue for Magellan. All right, Magellan, again, leaving from a very similar area here. It's going to get crowded. And he started by following down around Africa. Then he continued around South America. And then the real tricky part of that voyage, the Pacific Ocean. And then since this has unfolded the earth, it continues over here. He made it to the Philippines, where he was ultimately killed. Traveled through the Philippines. Continued around Africa, and their crew eventually returned back home without Magellan. Then for the last two, we're really going to kind of zoom in and focus on this region of the map, the Central America and South America, for Cortez and Pizarro. So for Cortez, we're going to really just focus on once he had made it to what's modern-day Cuba. So he obviously sailed from Spain. He was a conquistador leaving from Spain. But once he's in Cuba, so we'll have him start here. He sails around the Yucatan Peninsula and ends up hitting the coast near Veracruz. And then they travel inland, where they eventually conquer the Aztec Empire, and they explore a bit further. He actually makes it all the way up to this peninsula here in the Gulf of California. Then they come back down, go back, and eventually settle here. So there's Cortez. That's kind of his path on the trail to defeat the Aztecs. And the Aztec Empire would be somewhere around here at Tenochtitlan. You don't need to add that. But interesting to know, that's where Mexico City is now. And then finally, Pizarro. Pizarro is exploring South America. So he was focusing more on the Pacific side of starting in Panama. So he was exploring around here a lot. He was kind of sailing back and forth in this area. And eventually he made his way into the mainland and found the Inca. So he explored into South America all the way down to the Inca capital of Cusco. And then Pizarro ended up founding what's now the capital, Lima, of Peru, and then continued to live in this area until he died as well. So there is the basic routes of those explorers, and once you have that added to your map, you should be good to go. Thanks for watching.